everybody. This is Robyn Leslie with OnlyTheInspired.com, and I am super excited about our interview today. We have our brand new coach, Mr. Ninja Mike, and I can't even pronounce his last name, but I am very excited. He is just a huge wealth of information, and so I'm really excited to get to know him more and what drives him, what got him into this business, and all that kind of stuff. So, my friend, in a couple of minutes, describe who you are and how you help people.
Okay, I like to describe myself as the OG original geek online since 1989, and I've been building websites and doing internet marketing before it became the next big thing. And I like to help people by removing the tech challenges and doing done with you and done for you services.
That is such a huge help, because I think that tech challenges are one of the two biggest issues, especially for coaches, to get their business going, because there's so much to learn, and every different platform's totally different. So I absolutely love what you do. Yay!
And it changes every year.
And it changes every year. And it's so crazy. And that's why I have huge resistance for changing my computer or cell phone, anything like that, because it's a whole new learning curve. That's amazing that you help people with that. So how did you get started in that? Was it one event or a series of events that happened?
In a short time, I'll just give you the quick timeline is, again, I'm a geek, Microsoft certified. I work for Microsoft. I work for AT&T. I work for eBiz. And then basically 9/11 happened. They all went out of business. I always had this part-time photography business with digital imaging from Microsoft. So I used to teach classes back in Computer City before they got bought out by CompUSA, before they got killed by Best Buy. So that's how old I am. So when I was teaching those classes, I learned how to use digital cameras and scanners. That's when they were $5,000 SLRs, and no one really had them but me. So I always had that part-time business. So when I lost the job, I took my part-time business to the chamber, the largest networking party ever. Everyone had the mic for about 30 seconds. My turn's coming around. I don't hear the person before me, sweat, shaking, nerves, almost dropped it, and blew it. Got laughed at. Most embarrassing moment of my business life. I was told, hey, you're not a real business. Come back when you're ready, kid. Again, most embarrassing moment of my business life. It was from that point I learned how to confidently communicate, do internet marketing, get my messaging straight, and that was 2001. So since then, I've actually started little meetup groups where I'd call it networking boot camp. And it's always been my mission to make sure that no one ever has to feel that. So I can show you how to get your power statement, how to get a 30-second, a 60-second elevator speech, but just to be clear enough where someone asks you what's next. You can do a million different things to everyone, but that message gets lost. So what I try to do for people is get them clear on one thing for one specific purpose or one specific person, and then we could add on from there, which goes to today's 2020, 2021, whenever you're watching this, is when you're talking about Facebook ads, YouTube ads, you can't run one ad to everyone. You have to run them separately. So that's where that messaging comes in. Now, here's the morph. In the last 2 years, even in the last 5 months, everyone's been home coronavirus. No one knows how to use technology to their benefit. So now I've taken the technology I've been using for years and years, like it's always been there for me, but Zoom might be new to new people, and all these other platforms are new. So what I'm doing is having them come to the studio, or we'll go on Zoom. We'll help you define the message. If you have a message, we'll help you tweak it and get it just so right so you can place ads and have a win. Because people are placing ads without a proper message, or they're setting the ad up wrong, or they're sending the right message but to the wrong bunch of people. That's why those infomercials at 2 a.m. work really well, because they're set to a specific type of person that's going to be a 2 a.m. impulse buyer. They're going to help you create problems you didn't even know you had. So that's why I like to help people with their messaging. And I said, my mission right now is to use the gift of creativity, enthusiasm to coach and inspire future leaders to share their message. And again, that's done by removing all tech challenges.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. And, I've had those most embarrassing moments. It was in front of the Young Entrepreneurs Club at UNR here. Oh my gosh, it was awful. I was so nervous. I had a 30-minute talk that at the last minute got crunched down to 5 minutes, and I was just blank. Nothing's coming out. It was awful. But yeah, you remember those moments. It's like, man, if I would have had I didn't know how to pivot. I didn't know how to recover from that, but it happens. So describe your ultimate vision for your business.
The ultimate vision right now is I'm going to specifically work with women coaches. We're going to remove the tech with done-for-you services, but I'm also going a little bit deeper. This is going to be an international company doing what's called binge creation events. We're going to do a pop-up studio style. So even if you have some women that maybe have a shady background or they can't get to something based on transportation, family obligations, we want to give women at home the opportunity to work anywhere in the world with the binge creation event online. We also want to do a pop-up studio, which is going to remove needing leases, long-term capital investments, because as long as you have a couple of cameras and an Airbnb or a hotel or a VFW for the day, we can set that up for a weekend very inexpensively, invite a half a dozen entrepreneurs, set up shop. So we'll get your master class done. We can get your podcast done. We can get you all your promo videos done in about 2.5 days. So I want to open that opportunity up because so many people, I'm going to do a class. When you think about it, about 3 years ago. And I just want to take that out of the way because that tech typically stops people from doing it. So if you have the ability to come to one of our events anywhere in the world, anywhere in the country, you just come here, we do it all for you, and then next week you have videos ready to go. So you're placing ads, you're selling courses, you're launching podcasts. So the big vision is international company, events all around the world every weekend.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. And I was focused on your shady background. That can mean a couple different things.
I just know a lot of women cannot pass a background check and cannot get a traditional job, but I don't want them to have a prior mistake avoid them from having future income.
For sure. For sure. And actually, that's where my mind went, that kind of shady. But I was thinking, because for several years I had a horrible background and the lighting sucked. And I was thinking that kind of shading.
Oh, okay.
But I thought that's the one you were talking about. But I went to the shady background.
Which is fine. Yeah. In context, we are talking video and backgrounds. All you need is a couple of colored light bulbs and you can do what I do. But I just know when I used to speak to some of the welfare offices, a lot of these women, they couldn't get jobs. And then we had a connection with the halfway house. So we would just take girls from there, let them work with us for a couple of weeks, and then they'd do their work release. And they were happy to have the opportunity.
Oh, that's amazing that you're doing that. I love that you're doing that. So what beliefs do you have that set you apart from your competition?
The belief is number one, there is no competition. There's plenty of space for everyone. And when you niche down, there is no competition. You're going to own that space. And anyone that's doing something similar to you, you just invite them to the party. They're not really competing with you because you're all going to have a win. You're going to have your genius. They're going to have their genius. And I'd rather have everyone together that thinks they're my competition and invite them into the pool. Because I said, you can only do so many weekends in a year. You only have 52 opportunities for a Saturday. So I'd rather give somebody else the opportunity that's as good, better, maybe not as good as us, but at least they have the opportunity for a free lead where I'd rather have that referral basis and we can learn from each other. So that's like the number one. I've always had that for about 20 years. Again, zero competition. Everyone gets to play.
Collaboration versus competition. I absolutely believe in that. Absolutely. Yay. So what was the hardest thing to overcome when starting your business?
The hardest thing to overcome. Now, if you want to talk about current versus prior, because I said I've had retail stores in the past, I want to say the hardest thing about this was it's all brand new to everybody. So you can have an idea, but you're stuck alone. So I've had the hard time on a personal mindset of, wow, every time I wanted to do something, I would join a chamber, I would join a paid leads program, and I would just show up, twice a week to those programs, or I'd pay the facilitator to speak on a stage. That ended this year. So I had to figure out, I was anti-social media for the longest time. Professionally, I used it for other people, but I had no social media. But now I had to jump back into it. Like, okay, am I going to take my chances on social media and actually make friends? And I did. I've made friends all over the world. People say list how many cities you have to visit when Corona's over, like how many countries we have to visit now. Because I'm talking to people in every time zone in the whole English speaking and Spanish speaking world. So that's new. So for me, it was overcoming using Facebook, which I always consider the big time suck, and social media was just the devil. But now it's actually helping me to create friends, create a network, and actually serve other people that need us.
And it makes you realize how small the world actually is when you are connected to people all over the world. And it's very exciting, and it doesn't seem like you are, a hemisphere away from the person you're talking to on Zoom. And I love that. I love that it does that.
That was a hard thing for me to use social media socially. That wasn't my gig.
Right. But when you're secluded, and then, your outlets that you're used to, now you had to pivot and go in a different direction, and it's benefited. And that's how I connected with you.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate the invite. But again, it all goes back to, I served another woman coach who was part of your network, who invited me to get introduced to your network, and then you invited me in. So thank you.
Mm-hmm. So, question kind of along those lines. Do you have a support network of friends and family encouraging you to do what you do, or is this something you feel obligated and you're going to do it no matter what?
I'm doing this no matter what. I did learn from, again, live seminars and just I do coaching every day. I listen to something that I can learn from. And the consistent message is, you can't make money alone. It's a team sport, and you can't take in any amount of money until you know who you're giving it to first. So I'm very privileged. I have two gentlemen I work with, Raj Dorsami and Digital Dylan Grayson. He and I, he's on his honeymoon right now. So all three of us, we get together, and we started doing these. They were doing a creation weekend as well, offline. And then I was doing it in, traveling around doing pop-up studios. So we got together. I'm like, you know what, let's just all do this together. They basically said, let's do quiet time. They did a legitimate study hall. You'd come to the office. 5 people would sit in an office quietly. He's like, hi, I'm writing a book. Go write a chapter. We'll talk to you in 20 minutes. And they got books done in weeks instead of years, just by sitting with other entrepreneurs in that study hall environment. I do that online now. We do a virtual study hall. Even if you don't talk to anybody, you see other people on camera doing their work. That's where we came up with the binge creation weekends online, because of just from these other events. And you know what, you can do that online. We'll give it a shot. Yeah, shut the cameras off. You play on your own time. It's a lot of fun. So yeah, I do have support of those guys, plus their network of people that they've introduced me to. So I'm just constantly surrounded by great, positive people, mostly coaches, speakers, and authors now. And I don't like the other part of social media with your real friends and family, where just all negative and doom and gloom and cat videos. So I like being in my new realm of that I get to choose who I play with on social media.
Well, and it's important to choose who you're around. And yeah, so if you just stuck with the friends and family that are complaining about the election or COVID or this or that, it could suck you down. And so it's important to elevate yourself. And that's a huge key component on Only the Inspired. Is like, for me, nobody around me is in my space. Nobody in my physical space is in my space. And so I have to seek out those people. I have to seek out those connections. And it's really important that we are connected to people like-minded, where we could grow together and, and speak the same language. It's really important that we do that. And that is the reason why I asked that question, because there's a lot of people doing this completely on their own, against their spouse's will, against their kids' will, against everybody. It's like, you're crazy. Nobody's going to buy anything. But
when you're getting a real job, why you keep playing on the internet?
Right. And they just don't understand it. So what is your favorite thing about your business?
The favorite thing, I actually validly enjoyed it. I basically get to play TV producer every weekend, show up, lights, cameras, help people make videos. I love talking to people, giving them their message. And I get paid to talk to people, and I validly enjoy that. It's a lot of fun for me to help people do ads. I consider myself a professional pitchman. So if you tell me your product and service, I'll help you tweak that message. And it's a lot of fun for me. And then we put you in front of the camera. And again, when you go to our events, it's just a whole lot of fun. It's not a boring, stuffy business environment. You're just having a lot of fun, lots of laughter, and there's not even alcohol there. So that's what I love. I go and have like a mini party, and I get paid at the end.
And you're helping people grow and build their business. And yes, awesome. Yeah.
Plus, I get to learn. And when I set up these stage events and these virtual events, I get to watch 10 speakers because I'm setting the stuff up for them. So I get the extra bonus of learning all the extra stuff I don't have to pay for.
Right. And you get paid to do it. Yeah. Awesome. So what inspires you? What are you passionate about? And it doesn't have to be business.
I actually I'm a perpetual student. I basically get the adrenaline rush over learning new things, implementing, and seeing it happen. So it's like a giant life game of, okay, I'm going to learn the skill. I'm going to try it out. And I'm like, oh, wow, it worked. Let me do that again. What else can I learn? Right now I'm going to one of the Jack Canfield classes. I took basically a book that should have been done in a week or two. I'm stretching it out one chapter per week so I can implement all the activities it tells you to do. And that's working out really well for me. Again, because I literally pivoted from, I'll just say April, May to nothing to starting September 1 saying, I'm going to start from scratch again. And I'm here now. So that was a huge pivot for me. And that only came from, again, perpetual learning, which is fun for me, being in your group, meeting some of the coaches and going through programs. But again, maybe that's not fun for people. Again, I haven't had a TV since 1993. I don't know who won the World Series of Super Bowl, but I do know how to do some cool stuff that maybe you don't know how to do yet. So I'd rather spend 3 hours a night watching that kind of TV where I'm going to learn something and take some action.
I love myself some football.
Okay. I have no idea. Sorry.
I crave love of learning is my number one trait. And but you take it to a whole different level, because I would have to admit I have not implemented everything that I've done. I've bought so many courses, and I think you stand out from the crowd to actually take it that slow and actually get it implemented before you move on. And I think that's tremendous that you do that.
It's hard. I had over 1,000 hours learning time plus whatever I read. I keep track every day. I have a database of how much hours I spend in a learning program. I keep track of my wins. I think you need to keep track also. And part of your keeping track should be how much TV did you waste? How much time do you waste? Most people can waste about 4 hours a day. Don't even realize it.
Easy.
You watch a 15-minute video here or there again, maybe in the morning. That's 3 hours right there just in watching BS YouTube videos.
Yep. And we all have to unplug in our own way. But so
everybody's sweating. Sorry about that.
Oh, you're good. Who inspires you?
I don't have a specific who, but more of an industry. I said I love that self-development industry as a whole. So I will say self-development industry actually inspires me. And I have no one specific person that I look up to or look forward to being, because I just like to learn from everyone, and I create that big master image. So it's okay, that's what I'm going for. And you see people above you, below you, and it's like, oh, they did it, I can do it too. That person's not there yet, let me help them up. Mm-hmm. So I think as long as you're constantly pulling and pushing at the same time, you can go.
Absolutely. The inspired, that's what I call them. And I agree. I crave to be around people who are going against their fears and doing it anyways, and trying to make the life that they've dreamed of, instead of, I wish, I wasn't dealt the right cards or whatever.
Right. People say that, I actually say, yeah, well, pretend you're in a game of poker or blackjack. Okay, hit me. Get another card. You can call your round. Just get some new cards.
Yeah. No, I like that's a good.
Well,
Good
I'll give you
metaphor.
this. This is the one fun little nugget I learned recently from the Jack Canfield program. When you hear people complain, that's actually a good thing because they know that there's something better or something worse. But the problem is no one calls them on that. They'll complain about, oh, it's hot here. I hate living in Florida. You're allowed to move. You can move to
Mhm.
anywhere, any other 49 other states. No, I can't do that. Well, then shut up. But if they have the conscious enough to complain, they know it's a better choice, but they're not willing to take it. That's on them. But
Then stop
complaining in
complaining.
itself is not bad. So I have a whole new perspective on complaining. So I'm okay if I complain in my head. I'm like, okay, why am I complaining? What's the better and the worst choice? Am I going to make the better choice or stay where I am and fix it? Then I have no. Then I say, okay, but next, like, I'm not going to do any of that. So I shouldn't be in my head. So I get that's one of
You
the
try
new
not to
things I
live
just
there.
learned to just. I've heard it, and it was in the same book I had for 10 years, but it just clicked for some reason this week.
Awesome.
That's been
Awesome.
sitting in that same book since it was published, probably in 1998. But now I have to read it again, and it makes sense.
That's in the Jack Canfield book?
Yes.
Oh, okay. And what's the name of it?
Oh, that's the Success Principles.
Oh, okay.
He
Gotcha.
published that in 2007-ish.
Gotcha. So, if you could leave one tip or golden nugget for the people listening, and it was your only chance to say it, and the only thing you could tell them, what would that be?
Just start. Because hit the live key. You know what? Make sure you have all the pimples, the 3 chins, the bad hair, and the frumpy clothes. It doesn't matter. You're going to get judged. People keep the verdict to themselves. Just turn the comments off. Just go live. It's your duty to share your message, and it's okay. People are scared. Just do it anyway. It's going to because the longer you wait, the longer it's going to take you to start and then get over that fear. So if you're dead scared now, just start doing it. And then at least a year from now, you'll get over that fear rather than wait a year, then try to get over the fear. Now you wasted 2 years. So my challenge and my advice is just whatever you're going to do from wherever you are with whatever you have, just start. You don't have to go in sequential order.
Gotcha. Well, and that makes sense. You know, you could stress about it for a year and then finally take the leap. But then, yeah, you just wasted that year.
But plus
Yeah.
the other year of learning how to do it wrong.
Yeah.
I'll give you your plug. And if you want to do it correctly, join OnlyTheInspired. We have access to all the coaches. As funny as that sounds, but that is dead true. So you're almost better off in a group like yours, because if you're just starting out and you're scared, just jump in for a couple of weeks for free, talk to some entrepreneurs, some other coaches, get some advice, so at least you can launch properly.
Right.
So I'm happy for forums like yours.
Yeah, well, and I created that for all the people who want all the help and realize how expensive all of the courses and the coaching are. And so you have a chance with OnlyTheInspired.com to get, first of all, a 2-week free trial, and then it's only $47 a month right now, but you get access. We have 21 coaches and 26 courses from every different niche that you could, well, not every niche that you could think of. We have lots of business.
The main balance of life.
Yeah. So health, relationships, family, life coaching, business coaching. Yeah. So, and then you don't have to do it all by yourself. You have that advice and the one-on-one and the training from these people, which is awesome.
Yeah. Also, for anybody brand new that's not in the industry or not in the big circle of personal development, I want to say, when you're in these, like an Only Inspired type group, you can actually talk to a live human being coach without worrying about getting a bill or getting a sales pitch. They're actually going to help you with your problem. They're not going to try to qualify you to sell you something. You're already in there. You're already paid. They're done. Their job in that circle, in that forum, is to serve you. So if you're ever even thinking about getting help, but you're afraid that you're going to get a sales pitch, this is probably the group for you, because you're in. Your job is to serve other people, and they're there to serve you. So you can go into a pitch-free environment. It's a helping environment.
And that's what I wanted to create, because you know, we've all been in those the free things, and there's always a pitch. And I would almost dread every time I see a opt-in for a webinar. It's like, they're gonna sell me on something. They're gonna sell me on something every time. And so I wanted to create that space where you could be open and not be pitched every second. You know, the coaches are in there to help you with that specific problem. And it is group coaching, so it's not one-on-one coaching. But yeah, you don't get pitched, and they're there to help you get, you know, the results that you want. Awesome. So is there anything else that you would like to share, my friend?
Not now, but if you're ever gonna if you want to join the group, I'm in there. We do a binge creation event twice a week, so I can help you at least get started and hit that live key. So if you're considering starting your coaching business, jump in, get some mindset training, and then jump into one of our classes, and then so we'll help you create some videos like this.
So the binge creation, so it's 27 minutes, right? You want to talk about that really quick, and then talk about the where to stick it. I just love the name of that course. That's awesome.
All right, so number one, I'm part of the Only the Inspired. So exclusively on Only the Inspired, we have our 27-minute binge creation event. We do a power hour lunch, and then we'll do a happy hour binge on Thursday nights, where in 45 minutes, I'm going to show you a 7-10-10 process. So 7 minutes of research, 10 minutes of writing or creating the content on video, and then 10 minutes of publishing. And then we do a 15-minute Q&A. So once you get that system down, you can create a month's worth of content on the fly in less than 27 minutes. So again, but if you want to have that accountability, you just jump in with other entrepreneurs. We have the open study hall. We go around the room, say a hi. We start the timer. You do your work. We take a 2-minute break, check in, stretch, go back to work for 10 minutes. So some people need that co-working space, that accountability, that other people. So just remember, you're not alone. As I said, if you want to be part of the group, you're welcome to join our binge creation event, and we'll help you create videos, audios, just quick content, not a big master class. Again, this is really more for you having at least one post a week or one video a week or one photo a week on all your social media accounts so you look relevant. And when you get to be a month or two ahead, you're allowed to get lazy because, you know, life comes in the way. So we want to make sure that you're a real business and you have credibility and people can find you when they're looking. The other one we kind of made the joke of where to stick it. You made your course, now what? Where to stick it? So I go over live coaching. We'll do a live Q&A. We go over some of the places that you can host your courses, absolutely free. No really tech, no memberships. And if you have a little bit of budget, we can start off at $10 to $50 a month. But right now I give you 3 options where you can put your classes absolutely free once you've built them.
And that's awesome, because a lot of people, they're not sure where to put it. Do I put it on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn? Yeah. And a lot of times the formats are all different. And so that might get people to stop doing what they're doing, because Instagram's totally different than Facebook.
Right. So we have, going back to the 27-minute binge creation, we do what's called a 27-minute remix. So if you work with me for 3 or 4 weeks on, to say December 1st, now we're going to switch it up, and all the stuff you made in November, we're going to repurpose all that. We're going to show you how to turn your pictures into videos, your videos into podcasts and audios. We're going to take your audios and turn them into text articles, take your articles and then turn them back into videos and pictures. So we think we can recycle all this content. So you do the work once and then we just keep recycling. Because remember, you're not the same person you're going to be tomorrow. And the person that maybe saw your stuff last year, when they wake up tomorrow and see it again, they may need that reminder. They may be a different person. That message is needed today. So it's okay to recycle your content.
Just like that book that you've had for years and it didn't resonate.
Yeah, I tell you this, go read all your books from 5 years ago. They're brand new books. They've been totally revised, magically revised in your closet, in your bookshelf. Because you're different now.
Absolutely. And you're in a different space. You're in a different mindset. Yes. I just have to tell you what a treasure you've been so far. And it's only been a couple weeks and so Mike started as a member in OnlyTheInspired and then became a coach, and just the wealth of knowledge this man has is just amazing. And he's been a gift to everybody. You know, all the coaches like, hey, we need to talk. because he's just got tons of information, and it's truly been a pleasure to have you, and it's just been a couple weeks. Yeah. So anyways, thank you so much, everybody. Make sure you go to OnlyTheInspired.com, check out the 2-week free trial, and then it's $47 a month. You can't get one coaching session with one coach for less than $100 an hour. And that is very cheap, actually, for a lot of coaches. So $47 a month, you get access to 21 coaches. So make sure you check that out. Make sure you check out his binge creation course. And then after that, where to stick it when you have all of this content created. And then, you know, check out the other coaches too. But thank you very much, Mike, for being here. Appreciate you.